So let's start our discussion on the bisection method under the bracketing methods. So let's say we have a graph here, and then that curve is our f of x. Now how do we apply bracketing method or the bisection method? By the way, in the bracketing method, we have two methods, the bisection and the false position method. Let's define first, what do we mean when we say bracketing method and why it was called bracketing? This was called bracketing because we are trying to contain the root. Bracket or contain the root. How? We are going to have our initial guesses. We are actually going to use two initial guesses. Two values of x. The one is lower. That's why it's look like this. Let's say this is the lower assumption or the lower guess. And the other one is the higher or the upper. The goal for this is, again, we are going to contain or bracket the root of the non-linear equation. So in this example, by just looking at the graph, by the definition, the roots are the values of x when y is equal to, or the f of x is equal to 0. And by just looking at the graph, we can know exactly that the lower x and the upper x is bracketing or containing our root. And the root is there when y is equal to 0. When we apply bracketing methods, we contain and then we check. Actually, there's an initial check if the values or if the functions of these initial guesses are of opposing side, which means that if they are negative. So if the product of the functions of these or initial guesses is negative, that means that there is a root in between our upper and our lower guess. There is a root because there is a change of sign. Why? How can we say that there is a root when there is a change of sign? Just look at this example. If this is positive and then this is negative, we can see that in between these two guesses lies a root. There is a change in sign. Now, what if our two guesses are of the same sign, such as this? As you can see in this example, they are both negative. Therefore, there is no root in between them, resulting to a positive product of the initial guesses. Now, how about for this one? Let's say this is our initial guesses. And if you can observe that these are both positive and they are not, and the product of the functions of those is not equal to negative number or less than 0, which means or denotes that there is no root in between those initial guesses. Now, in the bracketing method, when we have determined that in between those two initial guesses exists a root, we are going to use the upper and the lower limit to find another values of x and then to evaluate that until we are very much closer to our root. That's what we do with the bracketing method. Now, for termination criteria or the stopping criteria, if you remember, we have what we call the tolerance. This is the average of the difference of the upper and the lower limit. And then we're going to stop if the tolerance is already met. We're going to compare this with our pre-specified tolerance. The other one is based on the approximate relative error. We need to ensure that the approximate relative error, again, is less than or equal to the pre-specified error or the pre-specified tolerance. If you remember, that is epsilon s. This is our stopping criterion. Or the other termination or stopping criteria, we have the according to the number of iterations. When the problem said that you are going to stop the iterations up to the fifth try or fifth trial, then you're going to stop at the fifth iteration or calculation. No need to calculate further. Even though, let's say, the error might be still quite large. Now, let's start with our bracketing or bisection method. When we say bisection from the word bisect, we are averaging. That's what we are going to keep in mind. We are dividing points or the line or the points, the upper and the lower limit into two equal parts. Okay. The bisection method is also known as the binary search method. This is a method in finding the root between 2 points. Just what I have shown earlier, that there are 2 points, and then we are going to test if a root exists between 2 points, and then we are going to test to get a new root, and then test if we are going closer to our root. The bisection method is also called binary chopping or binary search, interval halving, or the Bolzano's method. Now, with the bisection method, it converges slowly compared to other methods. And bisection method may fail. There is a drawback that the bisection method may fail when our f of x is tangent to the axis and does not cross the x-axis at f of x is equal to 0. So what do we do with the bisection method? Look at here in the photo on the left side. Let's say this is the true root. This is the true root of the non-linear equation. So what do we do is we'll have our initial guesses at 2 points. This is our lower x, and the other one is our upper x. What do we do with the lower and the upper is, again, first, we test if there is a change in sign. If there is a change in sign, then it means that in between our lower and the upper guesses, there exists a root of the curve or the root of the equation. After getting the root of after the testing, we are going to get a new value of x. So what do we do with this is we just divide these two. That's why it's called interval halving or binary chopping for a new estimation. This is the algorithm for the bisection method. Let's have first our initial guesses at xl and xu, or the lower and the upper guess. You take the functions of each and then you multiply that. If the product is less than 0, which means a negative number, that means that in between the xl and xu, there is a root. Now, if the xl and xu is our initial upper and lower guess, or the upper and lower, just the upper and the lower guess, the xr with the subscript r means, or we're going to understand this as the root or the approximate root. Now, to approximate the root, we are using the bisection method. We are just going to get the average of the lower and the upper limit. That is just the xl plus xu all over 2. After getting our approximate root or the xr, we need to get the function of that. And afterwards, we are going to compare this with the previous functions of the lower and the upper guess. Because again, this will define what will be our next step. So the same with what we do in the first process or the first step, we're going to compare the function of that approximated root with the functions of the other guesses. And the pair which will give us a negative value or less than 0, that will be our new interval. So let's say if the function of xl or the lower and the root is less than 0, it means that our lower limit is just itself, and we will have a new upper limit, which is the xr. Now, if the function of the approximate root and if you multiply it with the function of the upper guess, and we got a value that is less than 0 or negative, this means that we will have a new lower limit, which is our xr, while we retain our upper guess or upper limit. Now, advantages of the bisection method is that this is more likely always convergent because we are bracketing the root. We are ensuring that a root exists between the interval. And then as iterations are conducted, the intervals gets halved. So one can guarantee the error in the solution of the equation. However, it has its drawback. The convergence of the bisection method is low, as it is simply based on having the interval. If one of the initial guess is closer to the root, it will take larger number of iterations to reach the root. And if f of x is such that it just touches the x-axis, such as f of x is equal to x squared is equal to 0, it will be unable to find the lower guess and upper guess because such that f of xl and f of xu is less than 0. And for functions, f of x, where there is a singularity and a reverse sign at the singularity, the bisection method may converge on the singularity. Okay. So let's have our first example because again, we can understand this better if we will have our example.